What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads, fathers, and male caregivers that's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that movement since 2020, we've reached out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. And as always, I'd like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. We are broadcasting live on Friday, November 14th, 2025. November half done, half done. And have you started if you're into it, your Christmas shopping yet? I haven't. I don't know when I'm going to start, to be honest with you, with this crazy weather we're having here in Toronto. And as you can see on the screen, it's about 5 degrees Celsius here in Toronto. So people who are watching this live on replay in America going, what's like 5 degrees Celsius? So let's call it about 40 degrees Fahrenheit for those non-Celsius people watching the Morning Vibe. And for those who are regulars or those who are brand new, I usually have my co-host Ryan Knight with me, but they're doing work on his house, so he has no internet today. So I'm going hand solo. That's all right. That's okay. The most important thing is that I showed up and you showed up. So that's the key thing. And I see someone's already in the digital building. Please feel free to shout it out. So what's been going on with me this week? It's been somewhat of a quiet week, but new things, learning new things all the time. Where do I want to start? I don't know. There's so many interesting things. I'm continuing to build my own AI agent, which I'm finding to be a very interesting thing because a lot of times I have to do things on my own. And one of the things I've been looking to do is build my own AI agent. And it's been a really interesting journey with that. Now, here's the funny thing. One of my digital mentors, a gentleman named Kirk Nugent, and I suggest you follow him. He's really good in regards to live streaming. And was it on Wednesday? Every 2 weeks, he does like a open Q&A for people in his community and also people who jump in on his YouTube channel. And he said, hey, you got any questions? And I said, Kirk, I'm thinking about building an AI agent, customer service agent for my site. And he goes, Dr. Vibe, why are you doing that? I go, what do you mean? He says, hold on a second. What is your digital footprint? I go, huh? Huh? So what we did is he went on to a search engine and put in Dr. Vibe and the Dr. Vibe show. And we looked at all the listings that were on the page. All of them except two were right. There was actually, here's the funny thing, IMDb, which is the International Movie Database, had a listing for me, and I've never registered with them. So we went into that listing, and all the information is for something that's totally incorrect. So he said, you need to contact them and correct that. And there's another person, Dr. Vibe, that's about the third or fourth listing, says, you got to change that. So all that in saying, as one of my digital mentors, Kirk Nugent, say, have you looked at yourself in Google lately? Have you put your name in Google? And what is coming up? He said, preferably you want to look at it in incognito mode. And he said, So that made me really think. So I'm now sort of, he said, Dr. Val, why you need the chat agent stuff? People will probably go online first before they go to a chat agent. So make sure your digital footprint is solid. Was a good lesson learned. And I'm going to see, maybe the next time we do a Mix It Up Monday or a Freestyle Friday, we'll see if anyone's brave enough to let's go online and see what, how they're listed in search engines. It was a little interesting revelation for me today. So I said, let me share that. And I did say, Kirk, I said to him when we were live, I'm going to share that with my audience on Friday. So I done it. It's good. It's done. Here in Toronto, weather-wise, as you see, it's sunny right now, but it is cool. We had rain. Well, we had a bit of rain last night, but earlier on the week, we had snow. And it blows my mind. The snow came before I had a chance to rake up all my leaves. Go figure. Go figure. The snow is gone now, so yes, I'm back to raking leaves and making sure the yard looks proper, as we say. It looks proper today. But let's see, there are people watching. Certainly, come in and share what's going on. For stuff that's coming up with me on the weekend, tomorrow we have Primetime Saturday with Aisha K. Staggers and Laura Lala Key, and we did. It's been 2 weeks since they've been on, and especially what's been going on in America, from everything from the shutdown ending to 47 and Epstein. There is so much stuff going on. If you want to get a good take on what's going on in America, politics and culture, I suggest you check that out. And then I'll be doing stuff on Sunday, 5 p.m. Sunday. I have Cesar Nadima Musa doing Black Canada Talking. And then Black Men Can Talk on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And before we go to break, I do want to, on a serious note, our young boys are important. And one of the co-hosts of my Black Men Can Talk shared with me a day or so ago that a young Black boy in the community has transitioned due to suicide. And it struck me that we really got to do the best we can with our young people, family, young boys and young girls. They are so very, very important to our world. They're our future. And it struck me that this young man is no longer with us. And we're going to be discussing it about young boys, young Black boys. On our Sunday show, we're hoping to get a therapist on to give some lens in regards to why is this happening and how we can prevent this from happening and have our Black boys, instead of surviving, have them thriving. So I just want to have that moment there for all of you. And sorry to take it that way, but it's important that we do. All right. So we're going to take a quick break, come back, do some housekeeping. And we have, well, for all of you, 2 new friends coming on the show today. For me, there's a lady I met before, and the first time we met, we were getting some serious food. And man, she has a great humor, has a great smile, is a great mother. And then she has a partner in crime who loves to joke around. So we're going to have some fun. We're going to get some information, but more importantly, we're going to talk about how we can help Jamaica. All right. So we'll be back in 15 seconds.
Watch Primetime Saturdays on Saturdays 5 p.m. Eastern, where Aisha K. Staggers and Laura Lala Key try to make sense of the nonsense in American politics and culture.
As I mentioned, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, Primetime Saturday with Aisha K. Staggers and Laura Lala Key. All right, let's do some housekeeping. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and make sure you hit the notification button so you get notified when I do shows. And there's a few shows coming up that if you subscribe, and we're just a little bit away from 2,000 subscribers. So I know that a number of people who watch subscribe, but there's also a lot of people who watch that don't subscribe. Hey, if you are up to it, I would love you to subscribe to the show. Or if you're subscribing already, tell other people about it. You can also follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. We also want to put it out there, join our Discord group. So email me at dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com, or you can click on the link that's on your screen, and I'll be putting most of this information in the comments section wherever you're watching. If you want to advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms that I'm a part of, please feel free to email me, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. And then finally, Indie Soup TV, run by my great digital friend, Dr. Tachi. I like to call her Dr. Tache. She's based in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And in 21 months of operation, Indie Soup Media has 28,000 subscribers. Now, do note that only 4% of all YouTube channels have over 10,000 subscribers. So check it out. There's the link on YouTube. There is the website. All right. We are here to talk about Jamaica and the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. And we have two wonderful queens to join us today, Lisa Rutty and Paulette. And we're bringing them on stage right now. Here they are. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning,
Good
Dr.
morning.
You know what? I put Lisa's name twice. I need to be forgiven. Paulette's going to smack me in my head. What's going on?
Well, the weather is opposite of what you're experiencing in Canada. It's sunshine and it's already hot.
So you are in Jamaica as we speak.
Yes, I am.
And why are you teasing us like that?
Because we want you to come home and enjoy some of this good weather.
You want me to come home?
Oh gosh. I know Lisa was here a few weeks ago or days.
Yeah, a week and a half exact. I experienced Hurricane Melissa firsthand.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding me. I did not
Yeah.
know this.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Well, before we go deeper, and as I edit things in real time, let's get Paulette to share a little bit of her background, and then we'll get Lisa to share about her background, and then we'll get right into the hurricane pod during, post, and after. So, Paulette, the floor is yours.
All right. All right. So my background career-wise stems from a pharmaceutical background. I'm a registered pharmacist here in Jamaica, worked in the pharmaceutical field for lots of years. I don't want to age myself.
All right, my mother told me two things you never discuss with a lady: age and weight. So I ain't going any further.
Yeah, then leave those out.
Thank you.
Worked in the pharmaceutical industry for quite a number of years. Very rewarding. Helped a lot of patients from the dispensary side of things. Then I started focusing on pharmaceutical sales in terms of working with a distribution company here in Jamaica. That's base is in Hungary and in the broader Caribbean. So I used to traverse practically half of the island, detailing pharmaceuticals to doctors. In 2020, when COVID hit, I sort of pivoted and entered the world of real estate as a real estate agent. And from there, I realized that I have a passion for helping persons, particularly those in the diaspora, to own a piece of paradise, own a piece of yard. Many persons left Jamaica many moons ago, not knowing the processes, and it's just a joy. It's been a joy connecting those persons from the diaspora with their roots here in Jamaica, and also helping the locals acquire homes. Some of them first in their generation, first to purchase a property here in Jamaica. So it's been a very rewarding experience. Earlier this year, I made it the full plunge into the
Mm,
it. Left the pharmaceutical world. I juggled it for 5 years. I had two full-time jobs, and
two full-time jobs.
yeah, yes. So earlier this year, I just made the plunge and exclusively now real estate.
Thank you for sharing some of your journey. I'd love to ask before I get to Lisa, when did you know, or when do you remember the moment you said, okay, it's full-time real estate?
Yes, it's been battling for a long time, but there's this thing when you know when the time has come, the time has come. And it was literally that. I remember my manager asking me why, what's happening. I said, listen, it's just time, and everybody has their time, and it's just that my time is now here.
Okay, good stuff. Well, thank you. Ms. Rutty, come now. Give
Wagwan.
it to her.
Mornings, good mornings from the other side of the sea here in Canada. Yes, I'm here chilly with you. And I had the same experience. The snow came down and I was like, wait a minute, all my patio furniture is still outside, the cushions, the leaves are
Yeah.
up. So I will be this weekend cleaning all of that up before the snow comes back again.
Mm.
But I'm trying to time it before I do that and get back on a plane again to go back to Jamaica because my clients down there are saying, Lisa, when you coming? I even had text this morning.
Well, do you have a piece of luggage that you can curl me up in and take? Take,
No problem. No problem.
ooh,
No problem.
ooh,
I'll bring everyone along.
ooh.
Yes.
Okay, I received that. I received that. So a little
I
bit.
want to bring everybody back home to Jamaica.
Yes, yes, yes. A little bit about your background.
So my background is I started in travel and tourism. So I worked for almost 25 years in the travel industry. Took the plunge into real estate. Oh my gosh, about 7 years now. So now I've kind of dubbed myself real estate tourism. So I'm licensed here in Ontario as well as licensed in Jamaica. So my beautiful coworker here, Paulette, is one of my colleagues in Jamaica. So we work with Keller Williams Jamaica, and then here in Ontario, I'm with Royal LePage Signature. So outside of my real estate job, I wear many hats from a volunteer perspective as well. Sometimes, actually, there was a point in time where I was doing volunteer work about 70% of my time and said, okay, hold on, I need to figure stuff out because the bills have to get paid, right?
Sure.
But it's definitely a passion. I come with a heart of servitude in everything that I do. So it really does give me pleasure. So I'm honored to have the opportunity. I am the outgoing chair of the Jamaican Canadian Association membership services. I still volunteer with the committee and still very active with the Jamaican Canadian Association. Um, this is my third year as well. I was elected as one of the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council members. So we act as advisors to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Jamaica, and we help to be the voice of the diaspora. There are 28 of us globally.
Wow.
So we have reps from all over the world, from Nambia, China, Belgium, the US, UK, and there's two of us here in Canada. Myself and Rona Dunwell are the two elected members. Outside of that, there are really a total of 7 of us in Canada because there are a few sector leads. So we have citizen security, arts and culture. We have a faith-based rep as well as our discretionary member. And I have to big shout outs to Dr. Sylvanus Thompson, OD now, because he was awarded the Order of Distinction from our beloved Jamaica, yes, in October. So that
Wow.
was great. So our members here in the diaspora are really doing great things. I have great mentors that I'm following in their footsteps as I take my little steps along my path, really.
Mm. Lisa, where do you get your heart of servitude from?
I think it came from just watching my parents, to be honest with you. Both my dad and my mom were very active in what they do for their community. So it almost was just ingrained in me. This is just what we do, right? I'm trying to do that with my own kids. I used to drag them kicking and screaming to the JCA.
I have to meet some of these pick me one day because I say,
Listen,
your mother's trying to do good things. Come on.
Listen, no, honestly, it really does. So I have 3 kids, and I'm blessed with them. And my little one is my son. And as I said, I used to take him kicking and screaming to the JCA. Now I just say, "Oh, I've got to be at the JCA on Saturday. Do you want to come?" And he's like, "Yep, no problem." And on we had our benefit concert for Melissa Relief Efforts, and all of them came, including my mom. So I put them all to work at the
Wow.
concert. But the reason why I say that is we really have to instill these things in our children. And, I know you do a lot with dads and so on. And one of the things that really touched my heart was the fact that one day my son came to me and he said, "Oh, Mom, I'm running for president of the Black Association at school." And he's like, "I'm going to be the president of the JCA, just like you." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not the president." But the point is that they now see what I do and they come with the same heart wanting to do good.
Fantastic. That's beautiful. That's
Yes.
really, really beautiful. How did you two cross paths?
Well, Miss Beautiful Paulette over here, as I mentioned earlier. So we do work with the same brokerage in Jamaica, and Paulette just shines beautifully. Anything that she does, she is out there. She is doing it so wonderfully well. So our paths crossed when she was doing a promotion for her project in Jamaica, Milford Ridge, and just speaking to her about her project, there was just an instant connection, and we've just been working alongside each other. And honestly, it's only been maybe 3 or 4 months that we've
Are
kind
you
of
kidding
connected
me?
at the absolutely, but it feels like it's been years.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. Going, you know each other forever.
No, no,
Wow, that's
two
fantastic.
like-minded and like-hearted people.
Twin daughters of different mothers.
Yes.
Love that. People are shouting out hello. Dania Bedward Bowes says hello. Fitness IQ Cam is saying morning, morning. And she also says morning, ladies. All right, let me ask. So, both of you experienced Melissa firsthand. You were there. So, can you share with our audience what you experienced? And then we'll get post, but what was the experience like?
You want to start off,
All
Paulette?
right. For me, I'll talk about leading up to, during, and after. So leading up to Melissa, we've been hearing on the news that okay, a storm is coming. By the time it reaches Jamaica, it's projected to be Category 5. We've been hearing that from about a week before Melissa landed. So that would have been the Monday before, and we were told okay, it should have been here by the Saturday, then the Sunday, and then it shifted to the Monday. So persons were about doing their regular business. And Jamaicans, we're going to be always be optimistic. We're saying, okay, the storm not going to bother come. Some persons were praying for the best, that it would shift, and persons drawing their own path for the hurricane to track, that they're hoping and praying that that's how it would turn. And we've been spared so many times. So truthfully, I was also praying that our island would have been spared. On the day that Melissa came, um, I'm in Kingston, so it didn't affect me that bad. We had the winds, we had the heavy rains, and I have a young son as well. He's 18 months, and for me, it was just watching him throughout that. Before he was happy, quite happy throughout the storm. Um, when we started experiencing the winds, though, he fell asleep. Fell asleep right in my arms and slept throughout the entire time. The electricity went. Um, we didn't have electricity for about 6 days post, but I still was able to charge my phone in the car, and then I went to other family that had electricity. And the real shocker came after, when you started seeing the devastation that it did to persons in the western end of the island. Um, it's heartbreaking even up to now talking about it, and I've literally had to unplug, because you wish you can help everyone, but you can't. You just have to help one family, one, do the little that you can. And right now, Jamaica needs all the help, all hands on deck. I've been lobbying support. Anyone I know overseas, anyone I know, if you buy clothes during summertime and you change it during winter, those clothes that you have in your closets, those good clothes, not the old one with the tear up, send them. Come. We need all hands on deck. The devastation here in Jamaica, it's real. It's real.
Lisa?
Yes.
So, I was to depart on the Monday. I believe the original date was the 27th or something like that. And much like Paulette, sometimes the storms always shift and so on and so forth. Funny enough, I was in the office with Paulette, I believe on the Tuesday or the Wednesday. And that's when we started hearing that, okay, no, it's supposed to come. So I went back to where I was staying in Kingston and packed up everything and went down to St. Anne, because the house there had solar panels. So for me, that was my very first experience. But funny enough, a few days prior to that, we experienced a little earthquake in Jamaica. And I thought it was just me. Maybe I had too much to drink the night before. And then I saw it on the news that no, it was an earthquake. So I was like, okay. And then now hearing that I'm going to experience a Cat 5, possibly a Cat 5 hurricane, I said, then what could I so? But for me, the experience was really just the noise. That was my first time experiencing a hurricane. And, as a child, sometimes they talk about the boogeyman or the monster under the bed. No, sir, it did sound like there was a full on monster outside, shaking the house, shaking the windows. I couldn't sit still. And at any moment, I was expecting the roof to just fly. But in the morning, we realized that it was the solar panels lifting. It was definitely a terrifying experience, but made it through minimal damage, just some water under the doors and through the windows. So thankfully, we were good. But much like Paulette, the next day when we started seeing what was left of the Western region, it was just so devastating for me. I instantly felt almost like that survival remorse, right? Especially when here I am now. I get to pack up my luggage and hop on a plane and come back to Toronto. I cried on the way to the airport because seeing the devastating driving from St. Anne, driving through Trelawney and into Montego Bay, I was like, why am I leaving my people like this? I
Right.
knew that I had to get back because that's where my work was to be, with full throttle between the different organizations that I'm affiliated with. So I picked up myself and really pushed heavily. I mean, in fact, prior to the hurricane hitting Jamaica, our organization here, our GJDC, sorry, which is the Global Jamaica Diaspora team, we put together a team here in partnership with the Jamaican Canadian Association. And we, in fact, already had the date for the hurricane relief concert that we were doing here. So we made sure we were doing things fast because we knew Jamaica was going to be in need. And as soon as we saw the aftermath, there was no questions. We had to push hard.
Well, first things first, ladies. I want to thank you because I know memories of it can be traumatic, and to share it, and it's appreciated, not taken for granted. And during the conversation, if you need a moment, please take a moment because it's challenging. And so, before we went on live, both these ladies did something that not a lot of people do. They asked how I'm doing, and for myself, our family home, we're in Montego Bay. We're like 15 minutes from the airport, up on a hill, and we have two levels. So upstairs there's water. We have someone who takes care of the place. It seems that it's gonna be okay, but outside, trees, it's devastated outside. It's devastated outside. I have an uncle that lives across the street. His roof was blown right off and all the windows gone. Now, here's the ironic thing. Within a week, he has a garden beside his home. Plants started growing back. So that tells me that better times are here, coming. They're coming. They're coming. They're coming. So, but a number of relatives I have, their homes in St. Elizabeth, done. And for people who don't know about St. Elizabeth, you always hear North Americans talk about Florida with fruit trees and all that. Think about driving through a place for 20 minutes and all you see are orange trees. Think about that being totally devastated. Think about places where there's so much mud in the street, you can't drive your car. You can't walk. And maybe Paulette, you can give us a little bit more because you're there. Can you share a little bit more? And as again, if it's a little bit too traumatic, take your time and take a break if you need. But can you give our family here a little bit more insight of what things are like post right now?
All right, so post Hurricane Melissa, persons are just gathering the pieces um, in whatever way or shape or form that they can, and persons in the areas that have not been severely affected, they're really putting hands together. They're putting their hands in their pockets. They're going out and helping. I've never seen Jamaica as united as it stands now. Never. So in everything, there comes good, and that's one of the positives. Um, Persons from all over, all walks of life. The musicians, the entertainers, as you see on social media, Romish Entertainment, Spice, Shaggy coming back home, Usain Bolt. all hands are on deck. Tyrese Gibson is here in Jamaica now,
Yes.
walking the streets in the western parishes, those who are affected. And one thing that stood out for me when I saw those videos circulated, when he got off the plane and landed here in Jamaica, he went down on his knees
Yeah.
and he prayed. He prayed for Jamaica, and from all the looks of things, it's just seemed as if the Lord placed a passion on his heart to do this. And the fact that he went on his knees is symbolic, because right now, yes, we need all the aid, but only God alone can give hope. Um, I saw someone post something the other day, and I've been trying to help that family, and I've been doing what I can. I'm not the person to just go out and say what I'm doing, but I'm doing in whatever way I can. There's a family that a particular entertainer featured, and the gentleman had his 3 months old baby in his hand, and they were sleeping out of a van.
Oh my gosh. Take your time, Paulette. As I said, if you need a moment, I can feel it's challenging, and I fully understand. So take a moment if you need.
Yes, yes, I'll do the best I can. So, with my son, whatever clothes that I've had for him and whatever donations that I can make to support, I've been doing those. But the person also asked for another item that I was not and I didn't expect it to come, and I was looking at it from that angle as well. You mentioned Saint Elizabeth being we always refer to Saint Elizabeth as a bread basket.
Yes.
It's the parish that feeds the nation. And the particular person that I've been communicating with, helping this family, they said, if you can find any seeds, the
Oh,
farmers here need seeds.
wow. I didn't. Okay.
Yes. So yesterday I went to Rapid True Valley and got a whole bunch of seeds and sent that down. I should be getting it today. So that's also something in packing the relief items, in making the donations, maybe overlooked, but any seed, any tomato seeds, sweet
Wow.
pepper, corn, any form of seeds, they'll be so gladly appreciative of that. So we're just in the build back mode along the western end of the island, and Jamaica is just all hands on deck right now to help. Everybody is helping in whatever shape or form. Now is not the time to say arguing about this side or that side. Whomever you think can get the aid to the people, let's just get it out, because this is people's lives. Um, there are pregnant women in shelters, still young babies in shelters, sleeping on the floors. The condition is just it's devastating. Jamaica needs all the help. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Lisa,
And
anything you
one thing
wanting to
too, it
go ahead?
yeah, I was just going to add to it. It's not about, pushing to get aid in the next 2 weeks or a month. This is going to be something that is has to
Generational.
be
This is
over the long haul.
generational.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow. Wow. Um, so many directions I want to take this in. Okay, we're talking about smart design, smart insurance, and smarter home protection. What percentage of Jamaicans have home insurance?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question. So, our workshop on the 25th of this month will be speaking. Representative from JN Insurance will be doing a presentation on home insurance. They'll be speaking about the percentage of take up, how to submit your claim post insurance, and how to reach out in terms of getting your home insurance. Back to your question, I can't speak to an exact percentage right now. I'm not sure if Lisa has those stats, but what I can say is it's not a common practice here, especially if persons directly own their home, to have insurance. If you're going to purchase through the bank, that's definitely one of the criteria. They'll ask you to take out your peril insurance. But in terms of persons owning, and the norm in Jamaica is for persons to build on family land.
Right. Here we
Build
go.
on family
We're on
land.
one of those.
Okay, build on family land. They take their time. Jamaicans are hardworking people, very industrious, and they pride themselves in their home, and they pride themselves to say, okay, this is what I built out of my pocket. So some person will start with a one bedroom, they'll expand to a two, they'll do a three until they end up with what they have now. On the news feature as well, there was a particular man that was talking. He was older guy, probably in his 50s, and he said something and was very touching. And he said he's a skilled laborer, works with his hands, and he's been working from since he was 15 years old. And this man is probably in his 50s now. Been working from he was 15, and he built his home. And he said in just a few hours, all of that's gone. All of that's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have the stat on it, but yes, definitely it's a very low percentage of persons that actually have home insurance.
Yeah, I've spoken with some people, and they say part of the challenge is an affordability issue for many people, that they spend so much money building their home, they don't have a lot after that to do those monthly or yearly payments for the home. So I just wanted to see if any of you two had some further insight in regards to that.
At
It's
our
a little
workshop,
bit of
sorry, go ahead, Lisa.
Yeah, I was just going to add it's a little bit of a stigma as well. That persons believe that if they do get the insurance company is going to fight them tooth and nail not to pay out on that. And I think that might have been the case a couple of decades ago, but things have definitely come a long way now. Even me, I'm going to personally, I had an uncle who sells insurance in Jamaica, and he's like, no, man, push your money under your mattress. Because it's going to be so hard to get the claim. So it's one of those stigmas that have been attached to purchasing insurance. But as Paulette mentioned, we're going to be hosting another webinar on the 25th, and we're going to have the professionals to come and speak to that, because it really is something that persons need to have, especially now with global warming. These hurricanes and
Oh yeah.
earthquakes and tsunamis, there are going to be happening more frequent, so persons do have to protect their investment. No amount of money under their mattress is going to help them, because when the rain comes and the wind comes, all of that going to blow away.
Mm, mm. Paul, did you want to add something?
No, Lisa covered it. I was just reiterating that on the workshop on the 25th, the webinar, we'll have the experts talking about the home insurance.
I want to get back to the current state of damage. What are you seeing in damages across the parishes? Coastal versus inland, hillsides versus floodplains? Is there various amounts of damage? Because I know I have a cousin who lives in Kingston. They didn't get it too bad, but obviously the western part of the island got
You're
hit.
not really correct. So if you follow the direct path of the island, there was a map going out. What the government is doing now, they're trying to categorize the extent of damage. So the western island, the western and the western parishes, those were severely affected. Those in the direct path of the eye. Saint Anne, I believe, got the tail end of it. So there are some sections that have been coded red as well. Red for critically bad. It's bad. It's really severely damaged. And then there's yellow, I believe, moderately damaged. Parts of Saint Anne is in red.
Parts
Uh,
of St. Anne still have no electricity. Where I was at, there's still no electricity in
Come
St.
on.
Anne. Yeah,
Serious?
every single light pole was down. All of the cell
Oh,
towers. So even now, the cell towers are still not active. Everything is still come down, and we are, over almost 2 weeks away from Melissa at this point.
correct.
Still no electricity.
Correct. So traveling along the north coast, almost the north coast corridor, St. Anne, Ocho Rios, heading down to Montego Bay. In St. Anne, particularly, every light post is down, whether it's wooden or concrete. The post is
wow.
down. Monday, they started really restoring electricity to Ocho Rios. Ocho Rios
Just
and
now?
hospital. Yes, on Monday. So some sections of Ocho Rios now have electricity, now has electricity. Some sections of Ocho Rios still without. The hospital has restored power. Of course, that they will be giving the hospitals priority. Um, but still a large part of the island without electricity. And the JPS crew members, big up to them. I saw a video posted. Someone was heading to the airport, and they said that in the rain, the JPS guys were out there working. I know someone who also works with JPS about 11 o'clock last night. I saw him share a video. He and his team. They were somewhere in St. Mary. Along the Temple Hall Junction Main Road, trying to restore power to a lot of communities. So we are working, and they've imported workers from overseas, equipment from overseas, but the damage is so extensive. Yes, some parts of the island still without lights. Not to mention St. Elizabeth, Trelawney, Westmoreland, those areas. Um, Yes,
Hanover too.
Hanover, yes,
Right.
Hanover also without electricity. I saw a news feature a few nights ago on TVJ News, and a gentleman, he said he drove to a particular section of Saint Elizabeth to get Starlink internet because, as Lisa said, the phone service and cell towers are down. The service disrupted right through the island. Starlink has gained popularity. They've had their big launch here in Jamaica post Melissa. So this particular gentleman said he had to travel to a particular town that has Starlink because he has three kids and he's trying to entertain them post
Mm,
Melissa. So he went to
mm.
download their YouTube Coco Melon and their videos to go back home so they can watch that at home. So
Oh,
we're resilient
resiliency.
people. We're doing the best we can, but it's God.
Right. So Fitness IQ Cam says my friend shared her experience and it was definitely sad to hear. She also says, yes, my god family's house in St. Anne was affected.
Yes. Yes. I can tell you all every Jamaican now probably knows someone who's either badly damaged or moderately damaged.
Okay, got it. Were there certain types of structures that weathered Melissa better than others?
Definitely, definitely. Um the, and I believe it's also based on the roofing. There's a community, and I leave the name of the community out, but it's a fairly new community. And I'm touching on it because even though it's concrete structure, a lot of the roofs were damaged. Um, a lot of the roofs were damaged, and it's a 3-year-old community. It's been featured a lot on the news. I'm not sure what type of roofing material they did, but a lot of the homes, roofs were blown off. So fact is, it's a category 5 hurricane. There are talks now to reclassify it as a category 6. So not a
Wow.
lot of things could stand
Category 6.
category 6. I'm seeing where it says based on category 1 through 5, the incremental increase and the jump from category 4 to 5. And what Melissa, the speed winds that Melissa came, they're now thinking of reclassifying it to a category 6.
Yeah,
And
because
I
the
saw,
winds got up to like over 200 at some point.
You're
Mhm,
kidding me.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Wow.
Correct. So not a lot of things could withstand in his path, but there were some structures definitely that stood out, that had their roofs still intact. Um, but it's just a few that were spared. The slab roofs definitely would have remained intact. So at Milford Ridge, the all the homes here are being built with slab roof, and this was prior to Hurricane Melissa. The homes are also being pre-wired for solar electricity. I'm sure
Mm.
that's where we're all heading now in terms of with the solar, because we're tapping into the power of the sun. So the homes are pre-wired for solar electricity. All homeowners will have to do is just get their solar panel and the batteries. But we'll go more into that at the workshop or at the webinar.
Lisa, how have your clients been impacted?
Um, if we I have a few clients out in the West and definitely sadly impacted. My client base is Canada, US, UK, buying into Jamaica,
Right.
and many of them just don't know the condition even of their home. Some of us are in contract to sell the home, and we don't know if there's still a home standing to
Wow.
complete a sale. You know, outside of even just a home, I think they're just definitely more worried about the fact that they can't get connected with their family members back home, right? So it's at this point, it's forget about the property, forget about everything material. It's
Human.
really just being able to connect with their family, friends, neighbors that they grew up with, and just sending back that aid. And that's where we've been focusing on right now. Everything from a real estate standpoint has just been kind of a full stop period, sadly, right now. But you know definitely will rebuild, I think. And part of the reason for the webinar that we'll be having on the 25th is really to highlight, how they should be rebuilding, the insurance that they need once they've rebuilt, and predominantly right now, how do we get the aid back to Jamaica? And I'm proud to say that, from a Canadian standpoint, we have supplied a few shipments of aid already, and there's a lot more coming. So to my fellow Jamaicans right now, homeland Canada is coming.
Well, the the aspect of people waiting to hear from individuals, we had some of that in our family. There were some individuals who live out in Bogue, couldn't hear from them for days, and I paralleled it to, if people remember, 9/11, right? And I at that time I had an uncle who actually worked in those trade towers, and for 3 or 4 days we couldn't get in touch with him.
Yeah.
I can relate to not being able to contact a relative after a disaster. So I hear and feel what you've been sharing in regards to that situation. Got a question here from Frequency Event Promotions. I think it came in a little bit later. He says, is there a projected timeline for when Jamaica will be completely rebuilt? I'm asking for a specific reason.
All right, I'll take a shot at that. Um, and the straight answer is no specific timeline. There's no specific timeline. I don't think we're able to put a specific timeline on it. The extent of the damage, it's widespread. It's widespread. No, the latest from the government is that they're in dialogue with foreign countries to get building supplies, temporary shelters in for persons, but they want to ensure that it can withstand the weather conditions that we are prone to. Um, so no, it's just a temporary fix, putting a band-aid, trying to get person been trying to build back, trying to find the pieces of zinc, or the pieces of board that have been blown away. You'll see videos, persons walking through the community, trying to pick up the pieces. Aids coming in, donating tarpaulins, persons using that as shelter. It's just everybody now trying to come together to see how best we can help. There was a trucking company I saw a few days ago. They basically just donated their services, their trucks, their labor to the Black River Hospital to help clearing the debris. There are billions of debris scattered along the island, so it's a matter of cleaning up and rebuilding, but not just rebuilding the same way it was before. We want to ensure that the structures are solid, and if should we get another category 5 or 6 hurricane, that the damages won't be so extensive. So believe now they're in the strategizing moment to
And
see how
assessing.
best, and assessing the damages, correct, to see how best we can channel along a new path, because it can't be rebuilt the same way it was.
Yeah, because if you remember, we had Beryl just what 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and persons rebuilt, and now everything is gone. So I think right now the time is assessing. temporary housing so that we can build back a better Jamaica, stronger, so that we can withstand these types of storms that are coming.
Mhm. And also with this hurricane, a lot has been happening. We speak about climate change. There's one particular community. There's rising waters. The green water, just rising water covering the roofs, and it just keep on
Oh
rising,
my
rising,
gosh.
rising. The water
Still
just
to this day.
It's still.
Yep.
yes, yes,
So there's two things as a homeowner that I dread the most: fire and water. And especially water, you can't it finds its way. It
yep,
finds its way. Oh
yep,
my to
yep,
this day.
To
yep.
this day.
To
Yep.
this day. Even new rivers have been created, and Jamaicans, we're going to make the best out of it. So in the road, you see rivers running, running through. Not sure if it's reclaiming its course or just a new path being created, but persons are enjoying swimming. They're washing. It's definitely not the old. We can't rebuild the old way, and even if we wanted to, nature won't allow it.
Another aspect I've been shared with is schools, kids going to school.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's devastating. Just since week, a colleague of mine reached out asking, she wanted to find somewhere in Kingston to rent for a few 2 to 3 months because her son, she there the schools now are having a temporary host facility. So you can a student who was affected along the western end of the island can say come to school in Kingston for 2 to 3 months or 4 months, just so they're not left behind, especially with those that have external exams, CSEC, CXC. You may have known it as or would it be in your time, A levels, O levels. So they have the external exams coming up next year, May, June. So the schools are just trying to see how best we can assist those who are affected by having a temporary host situation. Because online learning is not an option right now.
No,
It's
no.
not.
What
And there's an
Right.
initiative by Dr. Dayton Campbell to adopt a family. Um, so it's just a matter of this is new to us. We're just trying as best as possible to figure it out.
what aspect, and we're not medical professionals here, but the aspect of trauma for people, you know, those who, and again, we have condolences for those who didn't make it because and I'm sure there are still people we don't know about that didn't make it, but how can the island build back not only but the physical but the emotional hit that's happened to some people because of this?
And that's a very good question, Lisa. And I'll just stop here and then I'd allow Lisa to pick up. Lisa mentioned something about having survivors. She said she's remorseful the
Oh,
day after, just
Yeah.
seeing the devastation. So even those who were not affected, it still affects us mentally. Daily, even with me, I told you I had to unplug
Yeah.
because it's hard to function. It's hard to function when you see so many people in need, the widespread devastation. It's hard to function. Sometimes you have to pick yourself up and say, listen, we still have to go to work. We still have to do this. Even the webinar, Lisa and I spoke a few days ago to say, how do we continue still with this webinar? Because our country is going through this tragedy at this time. And we said we just have to rebrand, just try and get the aid out, but we still have to do what we have to do, because if we don't make that money, we can't continue to help. So it's toll on those who survive. You sort of feel guilty of wanting to press on, and there's still so many persons don't have a roof over their head. When the night come, they're left to the elements.
Oh
um,
man.
you still have looters, some persons who are going to take advantage of the female in their vulnerable states. So mentally it affects even those who didn't go through the storm. I was talking to one person, she's an attorney, and she said every time she hear breeze blowing, hard breeze, it's a sense of shock. It
Mm.
just brings back horrible memories of the storm. So mentally, it takes God. I saw in the news as well where they tried to they're doing some sending some psychologists to speak with police
Yeah,
officers
yeah.
whose station were damaged and who were just out there trying to help persons to stay at the station because just to provide some form of security and some form of shelter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And definitely mental health is going to have to be at the forefront of
Yeah.
building Jamaica. It's not just about the brick and mortar, but it's also building back the individuals. And again, even shout outs to what you do for men's health, Dr. Vibe. That is also going to be, because I know there is always a lot of support for the women and for the children, but the men too. I'm seeing things online, and they feel devastated that they could not protect their families. How can you protect your family in something like that? It's completely out of your hand. And one thing I just want to say too, that Paulette mentioned, that how do we feed our families? It's not even about us continuing our work as realtors, but we have clients that are still knocking on our doors saying, I still need you to promote my property. I still need this property sold,
Wow.
because guess what? They need the funds from that proceeds
Of
of that
course.
sale as well.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I had this conversation with one of my clients in Jamaica yesterday, and they said, I need you to do this. I need you to. I said, okay, I understand that, but we need to be a little bit sensitive. And he said, but Lisa, business still goes on. And I said, I understand, but we have to be very sensitive in how we do it. So we get pressure from every direction, but our clients, we have buyer clients and seller clients, and the seller clients still need that property sold. I mentioned earlier about some of the properties that we have in St. Elizabeth. We don't know if there's even a property still standing. So it's going out and getting that assessed, but you can't even get to it yet, right? So there's so many different
Layers.
angles
Yeah.
and layers.
Oh my
Absolutely.
gosh.
Yeah.
How are you two? What measures in place are you two using to stay resilient?
Support from each other. Support. Keller Williams the other day, they had someone come in, an international person from the KW Care arm, to come in and speak to the agents because we're all affected and we're all going through it. And it was just an open forum whether you wanted to join by office or online, and just allowed persons to share their experience. And it's we're all affected. We're all affected. We're all affected. I don't know how to put it into words, but I'll
No,
just share this one story. I hope I'm not taking up one story
no,
that's
no.
a
Do
realtor
please share.
shared, and it just goes to show the extent of how much this affects our psyche. And she said she went out to Westmoreland to assist in giving out aids, and she just went to the supermarket, bought some stuff, and just went down to help tarpaulins. And she said she was coming back into Kingston, or going back to where she was located, but she still had a few bags left. And she saw a gentleman walking, and she asked him, "Do you want a tarpaulin?" And he said, "No, he'd rather the zinc." So she said, okay. And she said, a lady that was on a hill heard the conversation and said, Miss, I want the tarpaulin, I want the tarpaulin, and came all the way down. And she just fly the trunk for the lady to take out the tarpaulin. And the gentleman that said he didn't want the tarpaulin just took up the tarpaulin and moved away, walked away. So she said by the time she got to the back of the car, she just saw the back of the man going out with the tarpaulin. And she said she looked at the lady, and she said the lady was so deflated. It's like hope just pull out of her. And the realtor, my colleague, she said in that moment, she said she felt so hopeless. She felt so hopeless. She wished she had another one to give to this lady. The gentleman, she just wished she said she didn't even know how to react towards him. She just allowed it to go. And she said that never left her, and she's still battling with that to this day. So it affects us all.
Yeah. I think for us here in Canada, the way that we have been dealing with it, it's just all hands on deck. We currently have a 53-foot container on site at the Jamaican Canadian Association filling, and there isn't any space within the center that does not have a barrel, a skid, some sort of supplies there. And I have to say that the not only the Jamaican Canadian diaspora community, but the friends of Jamaica as well, because there's a lot of persons that are not Jamaican that have come and they have donated, whether it's their time, their services, to help us give aid to Jamaica. We have raised so much funds that's going to be donated through the the Jamaica disaster recovery efforts. We're also working in tandem with Atlas Shipping in Mississauga, who is going to help us ship all of these items down to Jamaica. And I think that's what we here in Canada have done. This is how we are dealing with this impact in trying to help to make sure every little thing we can scrape up, we're bringing it to the JCA, to the other locations too. So even if somebody is not close to the JCA North York, we have drop-off locations in Newmarket, across Canada. Don't get me wrong. I'm physically here in Ontario, but we are working with our honorary councils and we have drop off locations even in New Brunswick, Moncton, even on the maritime side. So right across Canada and right across the GTA, people can bring their donations and we are going to be getting that shipped to Jamaica under the disaster recovery efforts. If persons want to send directly to their families, they should be aware now they can do so with the waivers for the duty taxes will be waived, so they can ship their barrels or containers directly to their family members. But the outpouring we had on the 6th of November, our Melissa Relief concert, and let me tell you, the hall was packed. I was overwhelmed with joy just seeing everybody come out and everybody donated, and it was just such a wonderful affair. We had over 35 Canadian artists give of their time and they put on a show and everybody was there. We were selling food. We're waiting. I think we should have the final number today as we reconcile, and already we are over $500,000.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
just dollar monetary donations and climbing quickly. Every day, every hour I look at the link, it has gone up substantially. And not to mention, even yesterday I got a phone call. Somebody had a contact and they said, Lisa, I need to drop off 2 skids of condensed milk and powdered milk.
Wow.
You know, there's just so much. And these are non-Jamaicans.
Yeah.
These are non-Jamaicans as well. Everybody is really putting in the effort and coming together, and it's just so heartwarming.
Yes. That's amazing.
Yes.
That is
Yeah.
really, really good. We're speaking with Lisa and Paulette about how Jamaica can build back better after Melissa: smart design, smart insurance, and smarter home protection. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the screen some organizations, some links that Lisa gave me to organizations that are helping out. So we have one here. Just put this up here. Yeah, so this site is the Consulate General of Jamaica, Toronto. This is their website. And if you need the links, I've shared them on all the comments platforms. So if you need the link, you see it on the screen, but it's also in the comments section. Lisa, do you want to share or just want me to run through the different links? What's best?
Yeah, just I want everyone to make note of this one particular because this is the one that is constantly updated by our Council General for Jamaica in Toronto. So drop-off sites, if you scroll down, you will see drop-off sites if you want to physically drop donations. There is also how you can donate monetary. So this segment here is where you can give directly to the supportjamaica.gov.jm. Please do not fall to any scam. You have to see the .gov.jm and then you will know it's legit. But these are the directions to donate directly to the government. We also have another link which we can share later on. It's the Jamaican Canadian Association link as well.
One too.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, so these are the drop off locations. There are many, many more. So if anybody is in a particular area, especially if they are not easily accessible, it's hard for them to get out, just give me a call, reach out to me, reach out to Dr. Vibe. He can put us in touch.
Absolutely.
Welcome. I can definitely come and pick items up as well. Or we can discuss maybe another location that's even closer to you. Also, on the site, you will find a list of items that is heavily needed, that you can donate as well.
There you go. All those things. Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, this is all hands
Yeah,
on deck.
it's all hands on deck, and we're not talking about a week or two. This is going to be months in the making.
Okay, next up we have another site here.
Yeah, so this is the Jamaican Canadian Association site. So on the Hurricane Melissa relief efforts, there's a link to donate. Also, a list of the items. There is a site here where you can book, if you want to come to the center to help pack. We are welcoming because it's a lot of work. So
Yeah.
you can book time there. You can see where it says book time to volunteer. Whether you want to spend a morning or an afternoon or all day, you can book that time in to come and help us package these items for shipment.
Okay, and then we've got the site that Lisa was talking about, funds raised. There we go. So right
Yeah,
now, $507,693.79.
and
Yep.
counting.
And counting.
We, yeah, we haven't reconciled fully yet from the concert, the relief concert that we have had. So this number really and truly, we have moved the goalpost so many times. It was at 50,000, then 100,000, then half
Wow.
a billion. So it just goes to show that everybody is coming out and supporting in every little way that they can, and we are so excited to be able to send these back down to Jamaica to help with the relief efforts.
Fantastic. Let's come back to here and here. All right. So let's see. We got another comment in the screen here. Okay, we got that. One of the things, and Lisa, you and I are going to have an offline conversation. I got to see if there's any way I can help serve the men down there, because I think it's a very traumatic thing for
Absolutely.
them. And just some of the stories that you shared, and that story, Paulette, you shared of that gentleman just taking that stuff away, and the trauma that he's caused, and that lady, it's not good. That's not good. And I'm sure there's, I don't want to sound negative here, but other incidents like that going on
Oh
that we
yeah.
don't hear about.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
there's
Oh
lots.
yes.
There's
There's
lots. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on there that
yeah.
we don't want to hear about. I don't want to keep you on too much on, because you've already gone longer than you said you would, and I know it can be very draining. What message do you want to share with our audience as we let you go today? What message would you like our audience to leave with?
All right. This has been really resting on me. In terms of persons not sure where to give, because they and I put this out there and I'll say it with shoulders squared. Persons tend to not trust, or some persons don't trust the powers that be, or the political.
Yes, yes,
But don't let that be a reason not to give. There are so many organizations on the ground here in Jamaica. You can pick and choose which one you want to give to. If you want to give to the government, give to the government. If you want to give to Spice and their team to donate blocks, they brought 10 trucks down to the country and just helping persons randomly. If you want to give to Ramesh Entertainment, he gives his cell phone number out. You can WhatsApp him. You can call. Usain Bolt is down here giving out his hands on at his past alma mater. He's in his community. There's so many persons, so many organizations. Food for the Poor. There's so many organizations operating here in Jamaica now. You can give to any one of those. If you want to send direct to families, the information is out there on social media. The person's posting their contact number. There's so very many options to give. Don't let the fact that you don't want to give to this organization because you don't trust them, or this one you don't trust them, don't let that be the reason not to help your fellow brother and sister. Don't stay behind social media and criticize this one. Just Jamaica needs all hands on deck now. And I'm just asking, whenever you give, just go on your knees and pray to God, and pray to God that the aid reaches those who you intend for it to get. And also, if anyone take out their hand and dip in the cookie jar, that God will deal with them. That Lord said, vengeance is mine and I will repay. Let the Lord's wrath come upon them and their family and their children's children. Let God deal with that. But you do your part that you can do to assist.
Let me ask before I come to Lisa for closing thoughts. Um, what do you see as a 30, 60, 90-day plan for people who own homes or properties in Jamaica? Lisa, what would you suggest 30, 60, 90-day plan?
I'm going to answer it from, those that own home in Jamaica but live in the diaspora, and I'll allow Paulette maybe to answer it from those on the ground. But from the diaspora perspective, it's really assessing, getting the assessment done to understand what damage has been to your home. There are property management companies, the realtors as well can assist with that in just, going and taking videos or pictures of the property. So it's assessing, and then building back or fixing, renovating, whatever needs to be done back to that property, and then going from there. But it is hard to say what to do from a 30, 60, 90 days, because
Longer
it's
than
really
that.
going to depend on, the condition of it. But really and truly at this point, it's really assessing. It's assessing and then rebuilding, but rebuilding, keeping in mind these storms are coming to Jamaica at this level on an ongoing basis. So rebuilding it with the right capacity to withstand these future storms.
If people come to either one of you and say, you know what, I don't like, I need to rebuild, can you provide me trusted vendors or contractors to deal with? Do both of you have access to resources like that?
Yes.
Okay. Because Paulette, you mentioned about the whole trust factor. I think that becomes big in that. For each of you, what's your biggest worry right now when it comes to building Jamaica back? Is there a big worry that you have?
I'm going to say my biggest worry is really outside of real estate completely. It's really health. It's really health, both mental and physical. There's a lot, that I'm worried about for my Jamaicans, whether it's disease, fresh water. Like there's just so much of that, and then as well the mental state of my fellow Jamaicans. That's really where my mind is at from first and foremost, to be honest.
And for me, it's just the timeline and how much persons can tolerate between now and the time that they'll feel some sense of security or some semblance of normality. What will happen between them during that stage, that intermediate stage? Because they're susceptible to so many things. Women abuse, the children, the mental toll that it's taking on them, seeing the devastation, living amongst it. Um, for persons whose remains they're not able to get to yet, for those maroon communities, just the timeline between now or the time of the disaster and the time when they get the help that they need and back up on their feet, just that mental space, what will happen to them during that period. And there's nothing that all we can do is just pray. The only help comes from God, and He's the only one that's almighty and that can protect those persons in the wee hours of the morning when we can't.
Hmm.
So all we can do is just pray.
If all goes right and if Jamaica gets this right, what will Jamaica look like in the next 5 to 10 years?
I personally think Jamaica will come back beautiful and stronger. Honestly, we are resilient. I think that, and kudos to the government, kudos to the residents. Everybody is thinking about how to build back better and stronger. And just as Paulette had mentioned, talking about getting the seeds, as you had mentioned, Dr. Vibe, at your property, you started seeing those new life starting to spring. It
Yeah.
will spring. We will sprout again. We're going to grow stronger. It's just the time between now and then. But I think from a 5 year, 10 year, I think we will be even beautifuler than ever.
Paulette?
I'm going to have to agree with Lisa here. Um, Jamaica for me is just one of the best places in the world. I know you guys left Jamaica, but for me, I think is one of the things I've always said I love about Jamaica is the fact that if I'm cooking and I run out of salt, I can go next door and knock on my
Mm,
neighbor's door and say, listen, I need some salt. Or
mm,
if we have something they'll open, we're willing to share. And with that heart of the people and that mindset, and just seeing everybody come, putting all hands on deck, doing any little thing that they can, every little make a muckle, just seeing everybody putting all hands on deck, I know we will rebuild stronger. We will rebuild stronger. And just persons who are in the midst of it, just they're still maintaining that jovial atmosphere. They're still laughing about it. I mean, songs coming out about Melissa. It's amazing to see the people and the strength of the people, the resilience of the people. And as Lisa said, we will shine through.
love that. Love that. Fitness IQ Cam says, thank you, Lisa and Paulette, for sharing your story today. Please take one moment at a time, and we are here to help. And then Hayden Morrison says, by the way, as bad as things are now, it will get worse when the emotional trauma sets in after the physical work is done. That is definitely a definite possibility. Okay. So if you want to get in touch with these warriors, I'll call them soulful warriors, there is ways you can do that. Lisa is on Instagram, Realtor Lisa Rutty, and then she says, "Give them my phone number." I go, "Really?" He says, "It's everywhere." Okay, so there's her Instagram and her phone number, and again, it's in the comments section on most of the platforms you're watching this live on the replay. Paulette, milfordhomes.com and Instagram. I think, yeah, I did spell it right. Milford Homes. Ladies, you knocked it out of the park. Thank you so much for taking the most important thing, your time, to share with us today and spending longer than I thought you would. I know parts of this conversation were not easy, but thank you that we could provide you a safe and brave space to share with us. And we will be better. Maybe I'm going to go down to Jamaica and invest in.
You should. You definitely should,
Yes,
Dr. Vibe. Jamaica
100%.
needs you.
You see, and once I say that, I know Lisa's going to be working on me now. I put it out there. She's going to say, Dr. Vibe, where are you? Where
100%.
Jamaica
you
needs
at?
you.
I
Way
said,
in there.
where you there?
Jamaica needs you. And everyone just have to use their platform in whatever way, shape, or
Well,
form to get help to our
this is a
people.
start. This
Yeah.
is a start,
Yeah.
definitely a start. So as we close it up here, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Also follow the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, and Substack. Here's the information to join the Discord group. Also, you can email me directly if you want to advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms that I'm a part of, please feel free to email me, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. My co-host, Mr. Ryan Knight. If you want to get a hold of him, it's Ryan Knight, RyanOneilKnight.com. And I always say Knight with a K-N, not an N. And he actually is pitching in because his grandmother's house in Jamaica was destroyed. So I know he is, yes. So there's so many people that have been impacted by this, either directly or indirectly. Let's put all hands on deck. If you want to find out more about me, easiest thing to do is go to taplink.cc, the Dr. Vibe Show. If you want to watch replays of this epic conversation, you can watch replays on the Dr. Vibe Show, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, the Afro Caribbean Business Network on YouTube, and Ryan Oneil Knight on YouTube. Okay, this is how we ended off. Actually, you know what? I'm going to one little quick promo before we leave. So here we go. We'll be right back.
Tune into Monday's show where Desiree King, as part of the Craft series, will be talking about time well spent, creating meaningful moments and memories.
And that's Desiree King. She'll be finishing off her craft series where she's talking about helping Black elderlies transition to the next stage of their lives. So check that out on Monday's show. So this is how we finish off. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions, aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And if you're not making money, make history. Try to do both. And always make it better. God bless. Peace to all. Keep the faith. Walk good. And every little bit counts to help Jamaica. Be well and keep the faith.
This whole thing of using your business with plant-based products, don't you think your life should reflect that too?
Juke him, Carolyn. Juke him. The family loves us here because they're saying Fitness IQ Can says put a wig on to get in.
Oh God! Oh my God!
Like the ideas are just coming fast and furious here this morning. What? Okay, look at this. Global Women Ambassador. Good morning. Look forward. Okay.